Saint Bridget's cross. But who made her angry? Just to tell the tryout while we're waiting for everyone to get in. Has anyone here been to Mic Drop Comedy before? And who here hasn't been to Mic Drop Comedy before? I like the way the people who haven't been here just like politely raise their hands like yes.
Hey, I haven't been here at all.
Am I going to interrupt you?
I have not been here.
You're interrupting me now. Thank you very much for coming out. We're just going to lay out a few ground rules. Everyone here, you have to have a good time. And if you don't, tough shit. If there's a fire, the fire exit is there, or wherever the fire is not. Word of warning, I am not the fire. We have a lot of people coming down from all over the country, so please give them your attention. If you do need to talk, or if you need to have a chat or anything, you can do it while I'm on stage. I won't give out excessively. And if anyone needs to go to use the bathroom, please raise your hand and go, sir, I'm okay, come down, back to the goodie and left. And signal number 1 and number 2. And the act on stage will tell you if it's necessary to leave or not. Applauding for Irish, Jesus. I was writing Irish jokes like the pig and devil I am there recently. Do you want to hear it? Does anyone know Irish? Yeah, okay. So, it's half Irish, it's not a full. Basically, in Irish class, we used to have this guy called Louie, right? And we used to always ask him for pens. So we were always like, oh, tour them the Peann, Louie. And he'd give us the pencil, and we'd be like, Peann, towards me, Peann, Louie. And he was like, it's Mission Thomas. What the fuck is this? Are you all ready for Christmas? Ah, Christmas. Time of the year where all the dads go, oh fuck the kids. All the dads go, ah, fuck the kids. And all the pedophiles. Hopefully they're not saying mass this year. I once sent a letter to Santi years ago asking for a Nintendo DS, and a week later, Mum brought us to Argos and bought a Nintendo DS right in front of our eyes. And I was just there like, Mum, isn't Santi supposed to bring that to us? And she went, oh no, Santi's very, very busy this year, so he asked me to get the gift so he could still put it underneath the tree. And I was like, Mom, I'm 18, like. Come on. Kids aren't just for Christmas, you know, they're for New Year's. Even though I was born on December 30th, my parents used to say that to me the whole time. And they're divorced now, so don't do it. Divorce can be funny, you know. It's not in this way. Like, my parents were separated legally for 13 years, and then they realised, oh, if they die, I have to take care of their shit. Let's get a divorce. Let's get rid of that. But on the day, the week of the divorce, they organised it. It went to the secretary in the courtroom. They were like, oh, you're booked in for your divorce proceedings on Friday. And my dad went, oh, is there any chance you could move it to Thursday? I'm planning on getting married on Friday. And the secretary was like, to who? And he said, well, if you play your cards right. And the noise of my mom rolling her eyes would make you vomit. It was like... I once got a lady pregnant. It wasn't the whole, like, getting drunk and getting a condom thing. No, I'm not that stupid. I got drunk and agreed to IVF. You go go out with 40 quid and end up 50 grand in debt. It's not worth it. She got back with twins, but 9 months later, it's not the best. What's that coming over the hill? It's a segue. Here's what we're talking about. Lads are getting really bad at dating. Tell us more. Sorry, can I get your name there? Sorry, can I get your name there? Yes. Miriam. How bad are they? On a scale of 1 to shit. Suboptimal, lads, suboptimal. That's worse than optimal.
I kind of want to talk about some serious just in regards to lads and education, because my girlfriend recently told me that she gets catcalled on a weekly basis. Sometimes by me. If I'm driving home and I see her, I'll roll down the window and I'll go, "Your boyfriend loves you!" She doesn't care because I don't give her a lift in the rain. And she said I can't do it because I have a bumper sticker that says, "Wrap your whacker before you attack her." It's a second-hand car and I can't get it on.
What annoys me about the catcalling thing though is it's not catcalling. I have a cat. You go shh, 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 shh. You don't follow it around going, "Nice tits."
It's just, lads in general, they're just getting bad at dating. Like
The best thing I've found for meeting people is to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Like, if I chat to a girl and I say to them that I have a girlfriend, they don't go, "Oh, you have a girlfriend, okay." They seem to go like,
Ooh. Capable of commitment, are you? How rational, like.
Miriam, can we ask you a question? Have you ever been catcalled before? Can you remember what they said? And did you respond?
Like, I got really annoyed because a guy from Los Angeles came up to me after a gig and he told me outright that he uses Tinder to get as much sex as possible while he still can when he's young because he thinks he's not going to have sex when he's older. And I was like, "What the hell are you on about?" And he was like, "Well, I don't want to think that my parents are having sex right now." And I was like, "Your parents are definitely having sex right now. Why do you think they sent you to Ireland?" They were probably at the door going, "Bye, Tommy! Enjoy Ireland! Get the lube. Bye!" Like, who here was sent to a summer camp for like GAA or soccer growing up? Yeah, that wasn't for your sake. Your parents needed to make your siblings somehow.
Do you remember the shop Ann Summers, you know, the sex shop? I don't need to know if you work there. We saw it like two old, not couple, but they could be a couple, who cares? Two older women coming out of the shop and they were both kind of laughing, going, and it was the face of not someone who had saw their first butt plug, but they saw a butt plug, didn't know what it was, and had to ask the cashier, "What is this?" "It's a butt plug." "A bath plug?" "No."
Incident of talking to Kevin about masturbation in public, please just give him a hand. Just give him a hand. What's the name of the book there, Kevin? Was it something about
In Praise of Masturbation?
In Praise of Masturbation. If only Louis C.K. had read that book. Are you ready? Yeah. Good. First one. This is a weird one. Vote number 1. Richard Dick Viagra TD. Less elections, more erections.
Nike is facing a backlash after its Vaporfly running shoes have been found to break too many records. I once ran a 10K in 50 minutes while smoking 5 a day. Cigarettes 1, Nike 0.
I used to smoke. I don't anymore. Let's get a whoop.
How dare you nationalise me? No.
I had to quit smoking after I got a concussion. Falling out of bed.
Reaching for a pack of cigarettes. It was kind of like kicking the aforementioned balls. It's like, because I tried a lot of things, like smoking warnings that they give you, like, oh, smoking might give you cancer, smoking might give you heart disease. I was always there like,
Yeah, later, like, not. You're not going to take a puff and go, oh, it doesn't my lungs. And like, they were never really severe enough with the packaging. It's like they should have gone like,
smoke these and your dick will fall off. And you're like,
smoke these and your dick will fall.
or smoke these and your vagina will turn into cottage cheese. And you're like, I don't have a vagina, but okay. Like, I tried a lot of things to quit smoking. Like, I tried hypnosis on YouTube. And what it does, it gets you to imagine a
Fork in the road and a spoon in your tea and spatula up your hole.
on the road on the left, you're supposed to imagine yourself in 10 years' time if you had quit smoking.
And I imagined that I was married and I had a family with kids and a big house and a garden with bushes and roses and petunias. And it's more in the garden, to be honest.
On the road on the right, you're supposed to imagine yourself in 10 years' time if you had kept smoking. And I imagined that there were monkeys.
With chainsaws, cutting me up into pieces and using my blood to paint Picasso paintings and listening to Jedward.
When I woke up in a panic, I was like, holy dear Jesus fucking Christ. Me with kids.
You need a cigarette to cope with that sort of thing.
Don't Google your dreams! Not your aspirations, your actual dreams. My girlfriend had a dream, and I googled it, and she came out to the bathroom, and I was like, hey, I googled that whole thing, because she had a dream about, like, sharks that were in this water park that she went for family, and the staff were like, oh, they're friendly sharks, but then you get in the pool, and the sharks are like, we're angry sharks. Vinia. Yeah, jeez, I'll fucking Vinia.
So I googled the dream when she came in, and I told her, I was like, it says here that dream you had, it says here it means you desire more sex.
And she's like, wow, that's weird, because I googled your dream, you know, the one where you have sex with me, and it says here that statistically, dreams never come true.
There's been a huge drop in cases of young people addicted to heroin. Some argue that there's been an increase in cocaine use instead. It's okay though, because we all know that it's only wealthy bankers that use heroin. Sorry there.
I was not drunk, I was high.
Sorry, what pharmacies are the same in Denmark, are they? Chemists, where you get medicine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. Just want to double check. But I went to buy this thing called CBD oil, which is a cannabis oil.
Yeah.
And you know way more than I know about you. So, so I went to the pharmacy and I asked, like, oh, do you have it for sale? And they were like, oh, yeah, we do. Hi. And I was like, oh, I heard it's good for like helping you sleep and like if you have anxiety, that sort of thing. And his voice went gravely quiet, and he was like, oh, I don't know about that now. It's more for people who are like older, who might have, you know, ailments like motor neuron disease or Parkinson's or cancer, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? And then I realised that he was looking at this. Shaggy from Scooby-Doo was asking him. A 6-foot-tall professional hair farmer was asking him, sorry, do you have any of this marijuana oil? Is it for sale? And even though he's there going, yeah, it's not really for you, it's for older people with like serious illnesses, junkie Conan O'Brien is standing there going, but can I buy it though? It's kind of like snake oil. It doesn't really have much of effect. It's kind of like anti-coffee. Not decaf coffee. It's like the same way that coffee is like anti-heroin, but it's not. It's like weed. But it's like it doesn't do much except if you have 2 drops of it, you do have this slight inclination and it gets a bit confusing, but you feel like you need a pizza so badly that when you have it in front of you, you don't know if you should eat it or fuck it. So delicious. Why is there a hole in the box? It says dipping sauce.
I'm a big fan of sushi, especially when it's battered, fried, and with chips. I went to Starbucks earlier and I got a cup of coffee and they spelled my name as Late with 2 T's. It spells cappuccino. Don't worry. I brought a cup of coffee to work and one of the girls saw it and she was like, "Oh my God, stop! I'm some whore for coffee." And I was like, "I'm approved for percolation, but what the hell do you mean a whore for coffee?" And she was like, "Well, if I was at home and if my mom was in the garden, my dad would probably come in and say something like, 'Jesus, she's some whore for that lawnmower, isn't she?'" Is it a right on?
If I ever get the chance to open a coffee shop, I'll have to call it Coffee Whores. Just to have the slogan, "We'll flick your beans." It's on my bucket list, along with buying a bucket.
No, I can't leave you on that. Name a country, I'll take the piss out of it. Come on. Not that I'm a racist or anything. I might be. Did someone say Germany? I was in Germany.
Whereabouts are you from? Are you from Mayo where they don't speak Irish? Wait, do you mind asking? Germany. Oh, thanks very much for coming. I was in Germany there recently. 2 years ago, was it me?
I didn't learn German before I went over there. I went with the team of going just saying Irlande, which I found out on another gig is French for Ireland. But still.
I never got a grasp of the language. Like I kind of went over with the idea of just shouting Irlande. Is that German for Irish or no? Just saying it's which?
French.
Oh, okay, it's French. Well, I'll go to France next time.
When I went over, like, as soon as I got off the plane, everyone was, like, very nice. They were like, "Oh, guten Tag," and I was like, "Irlande." Just, like, ward them off. I didn't want to get into a German conversation. I wasn't ready yet.
Like when we went onto the taxi, he was like, "Oh, guten Tag," and I was like, "Irlande." And he was kind of like, "You're after getting on a plane to Germany. Why do you want a taxi back to French Ireland?" And then when we got into the town, we went to Hamburg, and everyone was like, "Oh, guten Tag, guten Tag, guten Tag, guten Tag." And I was just like shouting at them, going like, "Irlande, Irlande, Irlande!" And then a guy came up to me and he was like, "Do you English?" Carrie Creel with us too. That's Irish for "Hello, how are you doing?" And I said, "I'll be the same."
This is a weird one. Do drunk, soon-to-be fathers piss in toilets and think to themselves, "If he's a boy, I'll name him Armitage Shanks"?
My girlfriend, actually, it's a bit early in a relationship to call my girlfriend, what do I call her? My wife. She grew up in America and always dreamt of marrying an Irishman when she grew up. So, and then her friends found out about it and they were like, "Ooh, does that mean Brian is your destiny?" And I was like, no. Because if I get her pregnant, that'll end up being Destiny's child. You have to be careful with kids' names. So, like, I was told that the Native American tribes, like the Navajos and the Apaches and the Dominoes, pizzas.
They would name their child after the first thing they saw after the baby was conceived. And that's why they had names like Flying Falcon or Raging Bull or Innocent Bystander.
In my man cave, I just paint pictures of buffalo on the walls.
So it's going to be at Commons anyway. And
And I didn't have time to go to the pharmacy, and because it was go time, and so I hobbled down with my 3 legs to the gas station. But when I got to the gas station, petrol station, sorry, girlfriend's market, and I got home, put the box in the kitchen, and she picked them up and she was like, Brian, these are out of date. I was like, no, they're not. May 2007. They're older than my virginity. So we're not making balloon animals then, are we? But then a couple of weeks later, I went to the petrol station to get a pint of milk for the tea, and I saw the geriatric condoms like right behind the counter, still there. And I said to your man, like, those are out of date. And he looked at them and he went, how would you know? I was like, well, A, you sold them to me. B, my girlfriend's fucking pregnant. And C, I didn't buy the pregnancy test here. Don't worry, I lied. She's not pregnant, it's fine. It worked though. I got the milk for free.
I was actually over in the States recently. I was over in Florida. What's your opinion of Florida?
Why would you go to Florida?
Yes, babe, why would I go to Florida? My girlfriend, actually, her family, they helped out Al Gore during the presidential election in 2001. And if you don't know American news in 2001, bit of a niche subject.
But when Al Gore came to their house to say thank you for helping out the election, he shook all the kids' hands and he was like, hello, thanks for me. I'm Al Gore, sorry to keep them. And it was so cute. He went up to her sister Caitlin and said, hello, little lady. Whoa. And it was so cute. Caitlin just went, you're such a fucking vice president, aren't you?
And Al Gore said, that little lady is an inconvenient truth.
I'm actually going to America in a couple of weeks, so this may be the last time you see me. God, we hope so. But no, I'm going to go and see the sights, you know, like McDonald's and Starbucks and maybe some people getting murdered, maybe. Could be me, you know, might be fortunate. But no, me going over to the States is a bit like when Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton, visited Ballybunion, the Hollywood of Kerry.
Because the Secret Service actually had to come over to Ballybunion, the South place, and they had to give a cafe €10,000 to change their name just to avoid any photos of Bill in the cafe. So they took the money and they changed their name to from Monica's Cafe
to Monica's Bistro.
Anyone here from America? Maeve, don't say anything, I know where you're from. Oh, whereabouts in America you from?
New York,
Ooh.
Boston.
Oh, I have family in Boston who are also getting divorced. And New York. Quick question. Nutella. Can you just say the word for me there?
Nutella.
Oh. In case you haven't heard, she said Nutella. It's hazelnuts, not hazelnuts.
Here's a question for you. If 3 women go into a public toilet cubicle and none of them touch the toilet seat, I'm a pervert. But
I've heard it is the toilet seats are nasty, so there's no need to sit in them. So I heard you hover above them. But when 3 people in a cubicle, do you hoist each other up?
Yes.
Are you there like, dear Joanne, thanks for coming? Let's get down to business. I've never heard in the other cubicle in a lad's bathroom 2 lads going, Jack, I swear to God, if you drop me, you'll be wiping my arse with your face. I'm a big fan of arses.
Yes, own it. Not for sexual purposes now. It's more like I'd rather trust an arse more than a face.
Like, you never have to make eye contact with an arse. Like,
if it does, it's probably sitting over you and you need to get out of that situation very fast. Ask the person. I don't know.
Because it just seems like you don't get mixed signals when you're looking at an arse.
there's no such thing as resting bitch arse.
If you're looking at an arse and you think it winked at you, it farted, like.
Drug smugglers have known this for years. Like, if you're going to smuggle drugs, take notes, everybody. Are you going to trust the guy who's going to shove it up his hole, or the guy who's going to put a condom full of cocaine in his mouth and go up to airport security and not expect them to ask any questions? It's like, is that cocaine in your mouth? Is it a condom? And why is it in your mouth? It's for chewing gum. Oh, it's okay? It popped.
Although, one time I woke up hungover and I rolled over in bed and my hand landed on what can only be described as what felt like was an arse. And I was like, oh no, Brian, who is that? What have you done? Checked to see who it was, and it was a loaf of bread.
So I went to Aldi to get a Nutella for my new partner, and by the time I put the jar of Nutella in my basket, there was a lady like right there staring at me, and she was like,
Do you like Nutella? And I was like, yeah, who doesn't? And she said, hazelnuts. So later on, I was fingering her. She decided to mention in the middle of it, oh, I forgot my vibrator. And I panicked, I didn't know what to do, so I just went,
I'm glad you're laughing. She didn't. She's dead. I did that joke at a gig in Cork last night. I know some of you may have seen it before, but there was like people our age, your age, and one 87-year-old woman like right there. I could have turned there and go like, oh, no. But no, I didn't look at her when I did the joke. But when I sat back down, all I saw was her just going like.
Speaking of terrorism,
God, I know what you're all thinking. Why is he speaking Spanish?
Are you here, living here? Are you visiting or something? Oh, Erasmus. Oh, so you're here for the semester then? Oh. Have you been to this international night in Louie? Has there been tall, lanky, red-headed people like me attacking you against you? Yes, oh God. Lads, would you cop on? We're a welcoming society. Leave the ladies alone. We have our own kind to deal with. And leave them alone too, actually. I presume in Germany you speak like fluent English and you like pity our like lack of the ability to speak English because we're kind of like, oh Jesus, I know, sure. Dictionary, do you have one there?
Going to different countries and languages and stuff, I was always told that if you're ever going to another country, this is going to work because you speak English, but if, say, if you're going to Spain or Mayo where they don't speak English, don't learn the language, just speak English very slowly and everyone will understand you.
So I went to Spain and went up to the bar after I flew in, and I said to the barman, can I have a pint of Guinness? And he went, okay.
And as he was pulling the pint and he was trying to sell it, he just went, where are you from?
and I said to him like, Ireland. Where are you from?
And he went, I'm from
Dublin.
And I was like, why the fuck are we speaking Spanish then?
A friend of mine works in a crematorium. Surprisingly, his house does not have a fireplace. But he does have a stone bake oven. That's one for Ian.
I get depressed. fuck you. Laughter doesn't cure chemical imbalances, but it's not like chronic depression. I don't dream of dying every second. It's every other one. No, I don't. I'm a happy man. But no, it's because like from doing gigs, like when I'm up on stage at the moment, my brain is like Oprah with endorphins. It's like you get an endorphin, you get an endorphin. There's an endorphin for everyone in the audience. And then the next day, it's a bit like, you know the living bridge over there? This isn't my joke, but it's a great joke. It came out ages ago. Someone said they once had sex on the living bridge and they didn't move, it just did everything for them. But Limerick won on Yik Yak from 6 years ago. Please don't contain that joke. You know, we were walking on the Living Bridge once and we saw this kid, like about 8 years old, with a red jumpsuit and a high-vis jacket and a bicycle helmet with the words "Mammy's Little Helper" written on the high-vis jacket. And we were looking at him and we realised he was trying to climb off the bridge. And I was just staring at him going, "I get you, motherfucker." And my girlfriend was just like, "Should we do something about this?" And I was like, "He has a helmet and a high-vis jacket, he's fucking fine." But I swear to God, the helmet had, in comic book format, the onomatopoeic sounds of him hitting the water. Big splash, it was all there. And he didn't climb off the bridge, he fell off his scooter. Just had to be there.
We went to see a rap concert in the college, so the dude was white. And he was not good. Sorry for anybody who like Eminem, he's the minority. But he kept on asking a lot of questions during the act before every song. He was like, "Y'all ready to get down?" Silence, just like that. Except for one person in the crowd going, "I can get down." "Y'all ready to get deep?" "I can be deep." "Y'all ready to kiss my ass?" "I can kiss my ass." And I'm starting looking around and see who the fuck this guy was. And it was me.
I've stayed in a few houses. I was dating someone a few years ago, and all the housemates, there was only 2 of us that were straight, including myself, and everyone was of different sexualities. Like, we had one person who was transgender, we had transsexual, I'm not sure what the right word is, please forgive me, homosexual, pansexual, asexual, bisexual, I was dating bisexual, and at the dinner table we have dinner every week, just big cook pot for it, and there would be one chair that they would designate as the straight chair. And me and Billy, they'd be like, "Okay lads, fight for it." Me and Billy weren't really alpha people, so we were more like... That was uncalled for. I work in a multinational company. We're running the planet. We have a bunch of screens just like installed, and they have all these posters because they want to be seen as LGBT2. It's the second wave of LGBT. And they've been celebrating Pride Month by having, on all the televisions in the workplace, to have these posters with people that work for us, just like modelling, going like, "I'm proud to be queer, I'm proud to be lesbian." It's really nice, but I have this paranoid feeling that I'm going to walk by one and it's just going to be me standing there just going, "Proud to be a redhead." And I'm there like, "No, that's incorrect on so many levels."
Do y'all know RuPaul's Drag Race? I don't, but a lot of people don't like it, and I don't understand why, because like a lot of people in Ireland grew up doing Christmas nativities every single year, and I'm pretty sure Jesus didn't have to talk, but we would always dress up like, my biggest role before tonight was this tailor number 2 in the Emperor's New Clothes. Spoiler alert, there's no clothes. But we had this big scene, or big scene between tailor number 2 and number 1. It was actually tailor number 3 because tailor number 1 died in a terrible tailing accident. That sounds horrible. Fuck is tailing? No. We had this big scene where they asked, like, oh, what materials do you need for the Emperor's New Clothes? And we learned it off by heart. We had to go like, we want 5,000 pieces of gold, 6,000 pieces of silver, 10,000 pieces of bronze. And on stage, we forgot our lines. An 8-minute duologue out the window. But then we realised, we could say whatever the fuck we wanted. 10,000 pieces of gold, 7,000 pieces of silver,
5 puppy dogs' tails. 17 bags of cocaine.
3,000 butt plugs.
A dildo for my mistress. A dildo for his mistress.
Where's Jesus in this nativity?
And then one of the kids took the role of emperor with the new clothes too seriously, and he was in the nip going.
And because it was a cold auditorium, you could say he talked.
My brother though, they did the Alice in Wonderland where they have all the cats and the stuff, and it's fucking brilliant. Because one year he played Brian Brew, so he was the lead in the play, and he got to stab him right in between the arms. When your man fell, he cracked his head off the fucking wooden floor. It was magnificent. So he was like the lead role one year. The next year, he was the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland. A curtain appeared, just a 6-foot-tall papier-mâché caterpillar with my brother, before it was invented, vaping. Oh, I am the caterpillar. Fuck, this is good.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Lord have mercy. Christ have mercy. Lord have mercy. The grace of our Lord, Mr. Jesus, and the communion of the Holy Pint be with you all. Tonight's parochial podcast, we are sponsored by Squarespace. For all your clerical website needs, head to squarespace.com/GESUS for 10% off your first parochial website or domain. We will now stand for the Our Father. It's Good Friday, stand for your Lord. Pagans.
I recently found out that you can't refer to someone as having a disability anymore, and that the correct term is to refer to them as differently abled. But don't shorten it to disabled, because that sounds like you have a speech impediment. Or as they would call it, a minor disability.
I was working in an arts festival a couple of years ago, and there was a deaf woman came up, and I don't know sign language, and she came up and she was like, "Oh, how much is it?"
And I was like, €5. And she was like, I swear to God, this is what I thought she said. She went, can I go in? Are you fucking with me?
Can you just do that with sign language? Can you just go, "Hey, you guys want to go get pizza?"
I love pizza. And ice cream. Lots of ice cream. I've had people come up and give out to me about that joke, and fun fact, 100% of people that have come up to me have gone on to harass women.
It was one guy, but the numbers add up. And I understand people getting upset with it, but if you don't know sign language, just please don't come up. If you do know sign language, please teach me. And if you're still upset afterwards, just give me the universal sign language for good job. I'm going to leave you on this, and maybe you can't. I've been told, I'm kind of aware of it. You can't say the words "that's" or "heard" anymore. The R word. You cannot say it, especially because what you're really trying to say is "that's ridiculous."
So anytime I'm about to say the R word, I just replace it with ridiculous, and it works like 100% of the time. Like, here's an example. Excuse me, sir. I believe your son is mentally ridiculous. And what's your name? Innocent bystander?
The poor ridiculous child.
Well, I need to have a joke.